The screen's on. That's me. I'm 92. My family is outside my house right now. They want to get in. They want to take me away. This isn't about hate. It's worse. They just don't value my presence anymore. So I turned my home into a fortress. Let me tell you what happened. It started with my birthday last week. My son David had a party. He gave a speech about my legacy, but he kept checking his watch. My granddaughter Lily was on her phone. I saw a brochure later. Sunset Haven Senior Living. A red circle around a room called the Tranquility. They weren't asking. They were telling. I smiled. I ate the cake. It tasted like nothing, like I was already gone. That night I called my old friend Ben. We were engineers. I told him my plan. He laughed and said, "Artie, you're a mad old bastard. I'm in." We worked in my garage for 3 days. We rigged my front door. The doorbell wouldn't just ring. It would broadcast my voice through the walls. A proof of concept. The test was yesterday. David and his wife Chloe came over. He rang the bell. A low hum filled the air. Then my recorded voice came from the house itself. "I am still here." Chloe jumped. David got angry. He yelled through the mail slot. They left. I knew they'd be back. They came this morning with reinforcements. David, Chloe, Lily, and a woman in a suit from Sunset Haven. Meredith. David rang the bell again. My voice said, "My presence has value." Meredith tried her professional smile. I played another clip. My voice from 1978, from a board meeting, young and in command. David snapped. He said, "That's enough. We're getting a key." They left to get a locksmith. The siege had begun. I called Ben on the walkie-talkie. He was watching from his car. He told me David also called my daughter Eleanor. She was coming, bringing her boys. My stomach dropped. Eleanor sees me as a problem. I couldn't let her see me dragged out. I was desperate. I went to the basement, to the old intercom panel. I started speaking live. My voice went out through all the speakers. I told stories. I talked about David crying over a broken radio when he was 7. I described Chloe's wedding veil. I told how I helped Lily with her science fair project. I was putting my memories right in front of them. They all stood on the lawn, listening. David was red-faced. Chloe was crying. Then Eleanor's car screeched up. She got out, furious. She marched to the porch and shouted, "Dad, you are embarrassing this family." I switched the speaker to just the porch. My voice was quiet, just for her. "Eleanor," I said, "who taught you to drive a stick shift? Who held the net when you fell from the tree?" She froze. Then Lily stepped forward. She looked right at my camera. "Grandpa," she said. Her voice was clear. "The resonator circuit is overheating. The feedback loop is unstable." I felt a shock of panic. She was right. Smoke curled from the speaker. My whole stand was about to catch fire. I'd be a joke. I stared at the screen, at Lily's face. I made a choice. I shut it all down. The hum stopped. The speakers went silent. The front door lock clicked open. The door drifted ajar. The quiet was terrible. They all stared at it. I walked out. I expected to see them looking victorious. Instead, they looked confused, ashamed. David looked from the scorched speaker to me. "You built all this? Yourself?" "With Ben," I whispered. Lily said, "The design was brilliant, but the power supply was wrong." Eleanor walked up and put her hand on my arm, not to lead me, but to hold on. Chloe said, "We should go inside and talk." So we did. They came in as guests, not invaders. We're talking now, making a new plan. I stay, on my terms. So, if you feel yourself becoming a ghost in your own family, don't go quietly. Remind them of your value, your stories, your heart. Make them see you. Press record. Start talking. So we're in my kitchen now, all of them. David, Chloe, Lily, even Eleanor. Meredith from Sunset Haven left. She said she'd follow up. I think she knew she'd lost the room. You see, they weren't looking at me like a problem anymore. They were looking at the scorched speaker wire on my table, my proof of concept. David kept staring at it. "You really did this," he said. Not a question, a realization. "With Ben," I said again. My voice was tired. All the fight was gone. I just felt empty. Lily picked up the resonator module, the one that overheated. "It's a piezoelectric transducer, right? But you modified it." She sounded so much like me, like Ben. It made my heart ache. "Yes," I said, "to vibrate the wallboard. Turns the whole house into a speaker." That's when David did something that surprised me. He sat down. He put his head in his hands. "I thought you were slipping," he said to the table. "After the fall, I thought we were losing you. Sunset Haven was the safest option, the easiest option." He looked up at me. "I was scared, Dad." I saw it then. My son, the CEO. He wasn't trying to erase me. He was trying to fix a problem. He just forgot I was a person, not a broken appliance. Chloe touched his shoulder. "We all were," she said softly. Then she looked at me. "The stories you told, through the speakers, about my wedding veil. I didn't know you remembered that." "I remember everything," I said. And it's true. The older you get, the past gets clearer. The present gets fuzzier. But I remember the important things. Eleanor was quiet. She was making tea at my counter. Her hands were steady now. She brought me a cup. "You always were stubborn," she said. But she didn't say it mean. She said it like a fact, like the sky is blue. "You get it from me," I said. She almost smiled. Almost. Her boys, my grandsons, were poking around the workshop door. They looked curious, not bored. One of them asked, "Did you really build a sonic weapon, Grandpa?" "A statement," I corrected him, "not a weapon." But he was impressed. I could see it. For the first time, I wasn't just the old guy in the chair. I was the guy who built something. We talked for a long time. I showed them the workshop, the schematics Ben and I drew on graph paper, the old soldering iron. Lily asked 100 questions. She's smart, really smart. David listened, really listened. He stopped checking his watch. We made a new plan, right there at my kitchen table. I stay in my house. We get a part-time nurse, just for a few hours a day, my terms. David handles the paperwork. Chloe will bring groceries. Eleanor said she'll visit every other weekend. Not out of duty, she said. "I'll come. We'll talk." That's a big deal for her. Lily asked if she could come over after school sometimes to learn about engineering. From me. That almost made me cry. Ben is coming for dinner tomorrow. They all want to meet him. To thank him, I think. Or maybe to see if he's as crazy as I am. So here's the thing. I won. I think I won. But it doesn't feel like winning. It feels like a reset. Like we're all starting over. They see me now, not the ghost I was becoming, the man I still am. For now, that's enough. The barricade is down. The door is open. But I'm not leaving. Not today. But here's the thing. The reset didn't last. You see, after they all left that night, after the plans were made and the promises were given, the quiet came back. And the quiet is where the doubt lives. I sat in my chair in the same spot I'd sat during the siege, and I looked at my hands. They were shaking. Not from fear, from exhaustion, from the crash after all that adrenaline. And I thought, what have I done? I had to prove I was still a man by acting like a child. I had to terrorize my own family to get them to see me. That's not a victory. That's a tragedy. I felt sick. The taste of that birthday cake came back, ashes all over again. I won the battle to stay in my house, but I saw the cost in their eyes when they left. The confusion, the hurt, especially in David's eyes. My son, I humiliated him on his lawn, in front of his daughter, his wife, a stranger, to prove a point. The next day, Ben came for dinner. He was excited, buzzing. "We showed them, Artie," he said, clapping my shoulder. But when the family arrived, the mood was careful, polite. Lily was still bright, asking Ben questions, but David was quiet. Chloe was too cheerful. Eleanor was watching everyone like a hawk. We ate, we talked about the weather, about Lily's school, safe things. Nobody mentioned the resonators. Nobody mentioned Sunset Haven. It was like we'd all agreed to pretend the war never happened. And that was worse. So much worse. After dinner, Ben went home. David offered to help with the dishes. We were alone in the kitchen. The water was running. He was scrubbing a plate, his back to me, and I just said it. "I'm sorry I embarrassed you." He stopped. He didn't turn around. His shoulders were tight. "It's fine, Dad." "It's not fine," I said. I was desperate. I felt cornered, but that's no excuse. He put the plate down. He turned off the water. He finally turned to look at me. And his face, it wasn't angry. It was devastated. "Do you have any idea what it was like?" he said, his voice low. "To hear your voice coming out of the walls, to have the neighbors staring, to have Meredith from Sunset Haven think my father is having a psychotic break. I was trying to protect you, and you made me look like a monster. You made us all look like we were persecuting you." That's when I broke. Right there. Because he was right. I was so focused on my own fear of being erased, I didn't see their fear. Their fear of me falling. Their fear of losing me. Their fear of making the wrong choice. I turned their fear into a weapon against them. "I didn't mean to," I said, and my voice cracked. I needed you to see I was still in here." He came over then. He pulled out a chair and sat facing me. He took my shaking hands in his. His hands are so much bigger than mine now. "I see you, Dad," he said. "I've always seen you. I just got scared. And when I get scared, I try to fix things, to control things. I treated you like a problem to be solved. I'm sorry too." We sat there, holding hands, two old men crying in a kitchen. 192, 165. Both of us fools. Both of us scared. That was the hardest moment. Not the siege, not the smoke from the speaker. This, seeing the damage I'd done to my boy. The cost of my stand wasn't a scorched circuit board. It was the hurt in his eyes, the trust I burned through. He stayed late that night. We didn't talk much more. We just sat. And for the first time in a long time, it wasn't a silence full of things unsaid. It was just quiet, the good kind. When he left, he hugged me, a real hug, not the careful one from before. He said, "We'll figure it out, together." And I believe him. So the fortress is gone. The door is open, and I'm still here. But I see now that proving your value isn't about making a big noise. It's about letting them in, even when you're scared, even when they're scared. The value is in the quiet after the storm, in the dishes, in the holding of hands. It's in the apology. I didn't know that before. I thought value was about being heard. It's about listening too. I was wrong about what value looked like. I thought it was about being heard, about making a noise so big they couldn't ignore me. I thought it was in the schematics, in the cleverness of the circuit, in the shock on their faces. That was pride. That was the ghost of the man I was, rattling his chains. The real value, the thing they needed to see and I needed to remember, was in the quiet afterward. in my son's hands holding mine while we both cried, in the weight of a real apology, given and received. That's the proof of concept that matters. It's not a broadcast. It's a bridge. Looking back now, my biggest mistake was believing I had to perform to be seen. I turned my life, my memories, into a weapon. I staged a siege when what I needed was a conversation. I should have shown David the brochure that night at his house. I should have said, "This feels like an ending, and I'm not ready." I should have been that vulnerable. But I was scared, and pride is a much louder armor than fear. So I built my ridiculous doorbell. Don't make my mistake. Don't let your fear dress up as defiance. It leaves scorch marks on the people you love. Here's what I learned, sitting here at 92 with the whole messy business behind me. Love isn't about valuation. That's a corporate word, a spreadsheet word. My son David got confused and used that language because he's lived in that world for 40 years. He translated his fear into a bottom line. My job wasn't to correct his language with a louder noise. It was to remind him of our native tongue. Stories, touch, shared silence. The time he cried over the radio. That's the language. When I finally spoke that, without the resonator, just my broken voice across the kitchen table, he understood. He remembered who we were to each other. So my advice, if you're my age and you feel the walls of your world getting smaller, is this. Don't perform. Just be there. Be present in your way, but leave the door unlocked. Your value isn't in what you can still build or prove. It's in what you've already built in them. Your history is your leverage, but it shouldn't be a weapon. It should be an invitation. Say, "Do you remember when?" And then listen. Really listen to their answer. Let them see the man in the memory, and then let them see the man you are now, sitting right in front of them. The connection between those two people is your undeniable presence. You don't have to engineer it. You just have to point to it. And there is hope. Real, practical hope. It's not a hope that you'll be independent forever or that time will stop. It's the hope that the relationships can change, can deepen, even now. Maybe especially now. We made a new plan, but the plan isn't the hope. The hope is that David comes over on Tuesdays not to check on me, but to tinker in the garage with Lily and me. The hope is that Eleanor calls just to tell me a story about her boys, not to discuss my medication. The hope is in the mundane, reclaimed. You still have time. Maybe not years of it in the way you once did, but you have now. And now is enough to plant one more good memory, to heal one old wound, to say the one true thing you've been keeping behind your teeth. This is why I'm telling you all this confession. If my foolish, desperate stand with its overheating wires and smoky drama can show you a simpler path, then it was worth it. Your family doesn't hate you. They're probably just scared, speaking a language of solutions when you need a language of hearts. Teach them gently. Don't barricade the door. Open it and say, "Let's talk about what we're both afraid of." That takes more courage than any fortress. So here is my final ask of you. If this story, this old man's folly and fragile victory, meant anything to you, do a few things for me. First, tap that like button. It's a small thing, but it tells me this wasn't just noise into the void. It tells me I reached someone. Second, subscribe to this channel. I don't know if I'll make another video. My hands shake and the technology is a fussy beast. But if I do, if I have another lesson hard learned to share, I'd like you to be there. Turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Third, and this is the important one, leave a comment. Tell me your story. Are you the one feeling invisible? Or are you the son, the daughter, the grandchild, trying your best and fumbling it? What's your version of the Sunset Haven brochure? Let's talk about it down there. This isn't just my confession anymore. It can be our conversation. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who's building barricades or drawing up brochures, share this video with them. Send it quietly, no drama. Just say, "This made me think of us." It might be the bridge you both need. As for me, I'm going to go now. Ben will be here soon. We're going to try to fix that resonator with Lily's help. Not to use it, just for the joy of fixing it. The door is open. The sun is on the porch. And for today, that is more than enough. Thank you for listening. Now go. Be present. And for God's sake, be kind to each other. It's all that lasts.